All right, guys, so here we go. We are on the start of Silage season 2022. Thanks for joining me again today. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe, guys. It's always a great thing to help our channel along as we get started here. This is only the second episode, but please, if you're interested in farming, if you're interested in small-time farming, definitely hit that subscribe. Like I said, we're going through a transition period on our farm. A lot of fun. Dad's starting to get older. My brother and I are taking over more and more of the responsibility.
Hey, you got a copy?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is right now is that we've got a lot of stuff going on in the farm, a lot of changes, really interesting information as we move forward with that. Today, of course, just getting feed ready for the animals. We're coming in the fall. We had one heavy frost, killed everything off. Last week, everything's been drying really quickly, which means we're about a week ahead on where we expected to be when it comes to chopping. But it is what it is. When the weather up here in northern Wisconsin changes, you got to change with it. Everything's drying down real good, so we're out there just going after it. So today you'll just get to see some rounds with the truck. I'll try and go around the equipment, around him when he's chopping. Of course, you'll be able to see that. I'll kind of turn it here where he comes out of the field, and you can see that when he comes out here in a minute. And then we'll go look at the chopper and the equipment and how it works. I'll try and get some video of him actually chopping. So other than that, just stay tuned and let's have some fun. Always remember to shut the window and you'll see why. Called slug out of the dump wagon. So now he's dumped into me. He's pulling down. I'm gonna head out then.
Yep, you're good.
Alright, I'm out. Do you want me to come meet you in the fields if you're out there?
Yeah, I'll be a lot easier if you can meet me.
Okay, as long as it's dry enough, I have no problem. Here we go, guys. First load coming on around, and then we'll take you over to the pile. You'll be able to see what we got going on there. We'll chill with that. Like I said, I'll try and keep you guys up to date with stuff that's going on. This is an old International. We use it as our silage truck. It's a manual, 6-speed. Like I said, a lot of fun little adaptations we've done for silage, but definitely a lot better than running around like we used to do with wagons back and forth all day. It just got to be a really long day doing that. This I can do a load in about round trip to the farm and back in about 15 to 18 minutes. If I was doing it on a tractor, it always took about 30 to 35 minutes a load, sometimes 40 depending on distance. So definitely some huge improvements there for time, which is the very important, really important part about this. Is just faster we can do loads, the faster we can get this done. The faster we get it done, the quicker we get to relax. So one of them things, we're getting closer and closer to winter, and we want to just get going. Look at this pasture. It's a late season crop that we're going to do. It did get hit by a heavy frost, but it's still going to be fairly nutritious. It's sorghum, timothy, forage peas, and forage beans inside of there, so that we'll cut that here after we're done chopping and get that wrapped up into our silage bags. We got the bale wrapper, so we'll do high moisture bales wrap it, and then this stuff will all be used as forage throughout the year. Also higher protein with the beans and the peas in it, which is great when we're doing our ration mixing. While he's making some adjustments here, I'm going to show you what we're dealing with from my end of things, which is going to be this nice international truck. Like I said, not the greatest, but we got this cool little dump bed on it with the extensions up above. Very nice for room silage. Of course, our strap back here to keep the back, strobes for safety. We got some nice LED lights, so if we're running in the night, we can see things. Once again, sun's in my eyes, sorry about that. But this is our standard, just our dump wagon. Picked this up this year, put all these modifications. Once again, up there, some very nice lights up above here for that. Overall, nice little truck, nice little runs really good. Once again, it's just something for speed. We've done silage carts for years. We had 3 of those. We took the money from the 3 silage carts. We put it into this because it just made more sense for our farm to purchase one of these versus the dump boxes. And we still got the dump boxes. After this year, we'll make a decision on whether or not we want to go back to dump boxes or run with this, but right now my vote is on going with the truck system. Definitely a lot better system than running with wagons. So once again, John right now is out there in the distance. You can see him right over, I get it right there. So you can see him over there right now. He's adjusting the slip clutch on the Horning chopper head. He can drive faster or cutting than I can driving from pile to pile right now, but right now he's making some adjustments of it. It's brand new, it's only second year we used it. Flip clutch, that kind of thing needs to be adjusted in on it. So that's what he's working on currently. So right now that's what we're actually doing, is just getting everything dialed in today. This weekend's gonna be a lot of dial in and moving on that way. I'm gonna go take a step real quick into the cornfield here. Here we are in the cornfield once again. Corn all got broke because we had wind. You can see if I step back here, how all the tassels are broken in the same way. We had heavy wind here while we had a storm about a month ago, and it broke all the tassels evenly, but luckily the corn was already in good shape. Of course, we peel this back. You can see corn is just starting to dent. You can see it, but it's still kind of wet. Now, some people be thinking that's a little bit wet for silage, and you're right. The problem is that after a frost, you can see we went down to 25 degrees. All the leaves now are transparent. You can see my hand right through it, you know, so it's really transparency. It's turning brown really quickly. Dry down wise, it'll lose its ability to retain moisture now. It's going to start pulling back into the roots. Once that happens, you start losing some of the nutritional value of the corn. So right now is pretty much the best time to try and get this off the field. With it turning brown, moisture so far has been running pretty right where we want it really for packing. We don't want it too dry because then we got to run sprinklers on the packing pile in order to get it to pack correctly. Or in this instance, if it's right or a little bit wet, it'll actually run everything out. So there is a little bit of a finesse to it, but currently it's just at the right point where there's not a lot of seepage, not a lot of water coming out of it. If I go back to my box or even inside of his chopper box, we're not getting water coming out. There's no standing water when we're moving it. It's not dripping out of the back of the equipment. But of course, with it being at this kind of consistency, it's great for the packing at this point. The tractors are having a really good time packing this good and tight. The tighter we can get it, the better the fermenting process. The better the fermenting process, the better that the quality of the silage is. And it keeps that rotting out of there too, because if you get air pockets or spaces in there, air grows, wrong bacteria grows, and creates a bad spot in the silage. Thus, when it's this kind of consistency right now with moisture, it's a great opportunity to actually get this packed perfect to prevent that from happening. So once again, this is what we're looking at.
Back here, there's got to be about 20 of them just running around the corn stalk.
What is it?
Oh, there's partridge everywhere.
Well, you should have brought the shotgun.
I know. Golly, there's about 20 of them just running around the corn stalk. Crazy.
This year I have never seen this many partridge in 1 year. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's good to see.
It is. They were getting so low I wasn't seeing them anywhere, but now this year they're all over. I've seen them on the roads all over too. When I tell you this is cruising for chopping with a Gehl chopper, this is cruising for a chopping with a Gehl chopper. That chopper is eating like nobody's business with that horning head. This is probably double the speed of what we were doing prior with the 3-row head that he had on there before. So this Kemper style, it's called a horning, but Kemper was the original designer of these kind of heads. These Kemper head on top of this thing is just a beast when it comes to it, and it takes a fraction of the amount of power in order to do it. So thus we're able to actually chop a lot faster with a 3-row chopper versus what we were doing with the standard traditional Gehl 3-row chopper. So been a huge improvement, not a cheap improvement, but definitely when it comes down to, once again, time and speed, you cannot beat this, and it's the next best step to going to a self-propelled chopper, which we are not close to doing yet. So I've had a lot of people ask in previous discussions why we're so worried about making sure things are packed and we don't have much loss, because the prices of everything are so high. Even the markets aren't, surprisingly aren't doing very good for us. Yes, the price of meat at the store is way up, but overall, we as farmers are not making less money, and the price of our feed is that much higher. So the issue we're running into right now is the costs are going up, and even if the markets do go up next year, there's still that long delay for us to get paid. So we got to somehow pay for this feed, be sure the animals are taken care of, make sure we've got enough in storage to handle it before the end of before that we send stuff to market. So we've got a long delay, sometimes 2 years, from the time that we get cattle to the time that they go to market. So that's a big part of it when it comes down to how important this feed is to us. Yes, it's cost up front, but in the long run, it's saving us a lot of having to purchase it from a feed mill or that kind of situation, which is a very expensive proposition. there is the Gehl 1285 with the case magnum pulling the Meyer dump box. And as you can see, it's moving at a really good clip. That is that horning head on that Gehl 1285, which is what's a huge advantage when it comes down to the self-propelled chopper. So instead of doing 3 rows with a single head or the standard head, which takes a lot of torque, a lot of force, a lot of issues with that when on the machine, this horning head does a huge improvement on that. And I'm going to go ahead and swing that over here while you see, go watch when it goes by. Magnum 7240. We can see that's a Kemper head style machine pulling that through, and then we have the extended with a camera up there going into the Meyer dump box Pro 4012. So once again, running good, we're running smooth. It's the end of the day. Hopefully we don't go through any more breakdowns today. We haven't had any, which is actually abnormal. I was expecting to have a couple for the camera so that you guys could actually see us do some fixing, but we haven't been able to do that. Most of the stuff has been tapped some with a hammer because a pin is stuck or simple things like that. But overall, it's been going good. Of course, I'll do an update here when we finish for tonight, and then we'll be continuing on tomorrow. Maybe we might finish up all the fields that we have. We actually are doing really good with the new, using the truck and that horning Kemper head style on our chopper has made a huge difference on speed. So once again, this is just kind of an update where we're at. We're at 26 loads currently, 6 from this field. We got 20 from the last one. So far, this field's been moving incredibly fast. Just a minor bog down now on the machine. He took a little bit too much into it, and it plugged up the processor, so he's just backing out the processor at the moment, and we should be up and running here shortly again and get another load out in the field. So there we go, guys. First day done of what will hopefully be a 2-day process. Total of 32 loads moved. Tired, exhausted, using the weight of the backhoe. Got the Steiger, he's getting it set up. Steiger's over there in the back. We'll get that one taken care of.